Okay, in this video we're going to be checking out this combo flight stack here from Airbot. This has the Airbot Omnibus F4 Nano V6 board. That's the flight controller, and this also has the Airbot Ori32 4-in-1 ESC. This is a BLHeli32 4-in-1 ESC, and this combo comes like this, actually already assembled, and it does come this with connector cable. On the product page for this particular item, the board, the flight controller, I think is an older version of this. I see a photo of this where the connector is off here on the side, and I think it's an older version of that board. This is actually the Nano V6, so this actually comes separate as well, so you can buy the flight controller by itself and the 4-in-1 ESC by itself. I'll put links to all three SKUs in the description. Basically, when you buy the combo board, you get this newer version, not the one that's pictured, and that's what we're going to cover here. So this is pretty much all you get here. It comes assembled like this, with these, I think this is our M3 holes here, and everything is got these silicone grommets here for soft mounting, and they got this aluminum standoff between the two boards. It just comes exactly like it's in the bag, and then you get really nice documentation for the flight controller and for the 4-in-1 ESC. And I'll cover this here in a second here. Just want to quickly cover all the features. This is gonna probably be one of the favorite boards to go with if you're going to go for like a 6S build. And I say that because the flight controller definitely is the product page just say it'll go 2 to 6S. So this flight controller can definitely take 6S voltage. Now what's a little unclear is whether or not the 4-in-1 ESC can take 6S voltage. Now I've seen reports that it can, but on the product page and also on the documentation that was included here, it does say 3 to 4S LiPo here. Okay, so I went ahead and I took the boards apart here so we can take a closer look at the flight controller. There's some connection points on the bottom side that we want to take a look at. Let's take a look at the flight controller first, and let's go over the highlights. This thing is a pretty feature-packed board. F4 processor, of course, Betaflight OSD, has a 5-volt 2-amp regulator, but they recommend limiting it to 1 amp. Has a built-in LC filter for video, or for clean video, and it has some capacitors here for the gyro, so that the gyro gets noise-free signals, so that's pretty good too. Supposedly this is a very nice board in terms of tuning and stuff. It'll tune pretty easily. This does come with 5 UARTs, and I'm not sure if all the silk screening will show up here on camera, but you can see a lot of the UARTs here on this side, and then on the underside over here, over on this side here, you can see additional UARTs along with your receiver connections, LED, and then there's some more connections here on the bottom side of the board, as well as camera control over here. I think your LiPo voltage comes in over here, but it does have a connector here, and it'll be easier to see everything in the paper documentation, and very clear documentation. But just wanted you guys to see what the board looks like. If you guys want to freeze those, you can capture that, and also show your size comparison. So this board is quite a bit bigger than a lot of the 20 by 20 boards out there, as you can clearly see. And this is the HGLRC F428 stack. You can see it's quite a bit smaller compared to the Airbot board. And so I'll just go and give you some measurements here. The width here is 33.6 millimeters, and the depth comes in at 28.3 millimeters, and the thickness is about 6.4 millimeters. So here's a look at the documentation. This board also comes with an onboard barometer, which is nice, MPU 6000, so it's only an 8K gyro, and the OSD chip is the AB7456. 3 to 6S LiPo, and has 5 hardware UARTs. And what's interesting, according to this documentation, it has a 5-volt 1-amp BEC, probably for any other like peripherals like a receiver. Then it supports an 8-volt 1-amp BEC with LC filter output to the camera. And I guess that's maybe on the pads for the camera. you get a different VEC for that, for the LC filter and power filtering for the camera. So that's probably how they're filtering for video noise. And they also include a little chart here for all the resources here. If you want to do any resource remapping, that's all included here. And on the back side of this documentation is the pinouts, and it's all in color and very nicely labeled here. So it's really clear as to what everything is. When you have 5 UARTs, I guess you're going to need some pretty clear documentation, and this one is one of the best ones I've ever seen. This is the bottom side of the board here. Additional UARTs over here, 3.3 volts buzzer, 5 volts for your receiver, and then over here you got video in and video out for your OSD, smart audio, and camera control. So yeah, and then this is the pinout here that goes to the 4-in-1 AC. So you can see the top line there is VBAT, then you got ESC telemetry, ground, no control, and then you got your 4 motor signal pins there. Okay, so taking a look at the 4-in-1 AC, this is a 25 amp 4-in-1 AC Ori32, and this is the top side of the board where the connector is, and this is where all those wires go for those. Show the pinouts here. This is what they are labeled here as well. They correspond with all the same ones on the flight controller. What's interesting about this is that all of the solder points for the motors are on the underside of the board, along with the battery leads here. So yeah, if you mount this first onto your frame, soldering is going to be pretty challenging. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I don't think it's possible. So you probably want to solder your motor wires on first, then go ahead and mount it in your frame, or you can mount it upside down, I suppose. But if you want to check out with the layout here, it shows that this is motor 1 here, and that's motor 2 there. So it expects it to be in this orientation where this is the top. If you flip it over, you're going to have to do some motor remapping in BFlight configurator and CLI if you want to do it this way. If you want to mount it first and then solder to the board. But yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to just solder first and then mount it to the to your frame. But then again, changing motors is going to be pretty difficult, because then you're going to have to basically take the stack out and flip it over so you can desolder the motor wires and resolder them. So that's kind of a downside if you ask me, but yeah, that's how they designed this particular 4-in-1 AC. Okay, so a few more measurements here. The width of this 4-in-1 AC is pretty long, 38.4, and the depth is about 27 millimeters, and the thickness is about 7.3 millimeters. And for those of you wondering about the weight of the combo board here, it's about 20 grams. Okay, so that's going to do it for this video on this Airbot combo flight stack. Yeah, it's pretty good value. I think it's about $65 or $70 for the combo. It's definitely cheaper than getting the board separately. So if you want to get this as a combo, it does include this connector. I don't know what it comes with separately, so if you're wondering if it comes with this connector or not, I don't know that. So if you want to make sure you get this connector, I would encourage you to get the combo. But yes, this is a pretty feature-packed board and should perform really well. Well, that's my expectation. I'm not sure which build I'm going to be putting this in yet, but it's going to go into something pretty nice, probably at least a 3-inch. And I'm hoping to maybe pick up some prototype 6S motors. So yeah, if you're looking to build a 6S, I think this might be the stack. Might be the only stack actually that does 6S. So if you're looking to do a 6S micro build, this might be the stack to look for. Anyway guys, hope you found this video helpful, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.